Allora anche la cosa bella è pensare che adesso noi abbiamo ancora qualche giorno, magari possiamo mettere a punto anche qualche altra pratica. Questa per esempio potrebbe essere anche una pratica del corpo o della voce. La cosa bella è pensare che però noi, oltre a fare questo, prima di andare via decidiamo delle date che possono essere alcune date, anche poche, che intercorrono tra adesso e novembre. E in quel preciso giorno ognuno di noi farà una determinata cosa che ha a che fare con questa ritualità, in modo da poter creare una connessione anche a distanza che rimanga però fino al prossimo incontro e che riesca a costruire, proprio perché si fonda su questa distanza, poi una condizione anche comune attraverso la quale noi andiamo a fare una ritualità che non sappiamo quale sia.
I just want to say that map out that future ritual, which is not there yet, but we are kind of putting the points where we all meet. This is meet there at this point, and then go again into your individual. So this ritualization is very important, but at the same time when we map out the meeting points, that is where the energy meets, and that is where it also goes. So basically, this is happening. We throw it in this pit now, and we see how everyone draws. What is the concept of the ritual personally? We maybe will see common fragments that are repeating in different pictures. And these repetitions will be the moments for all of us to meet. And whatever stays individual will stay and the practice. But I will be aware that if, let's say, we agree on June, 22, 9 o'clock in the evening, or when the moon is going down, to do the ritual, wherever you are, I will have the picture that this is what you are doing. It's your painting, and what I'm doing is mine, but they are meeting moments of the group.
Quello lui intende dire che il rito che si cercheremo di creare è una cosa molto personale, che punta alla condivisione, ma in realtà parte da noi stessi. Ed ha fatto l'esempio che andando nel campo e mettendo giù le forme che ci vengono in mente o che sentiamo, ogni forma sarà diversa, però ci saranno dei punti in comune, quelli saranno i punti di contatto, però la base è che ogni tentativo sarà un tentativo personale. E ad esempio quando sarà deciso un giorno in cui ognuno farà in cui ci sarà questa ritualità condivisa, ognuno farà il suo rito, però sarà anche consapevole del fatto che ci sono dei punti di contatto, e quei punti di contatto saranno quelli che uniranno ogni esperienza personale.
To start feeling and understanding the relationship of each other on the rituals that we just drew. And only after repeating and practice, I think there is a common feeling that, okay, something happened, so we can call it a ritual and repeat it then personally or collectively in different time space.
Ed è un punto importante è che questi elementi comuni, praticando questa esperienza e quindi facendola diventare qualcosa che noi facciamo anche fisicamente, questo aspetto diventa fondamentale per poi poter chiamare tutto questo con il termine di riguardare.
Cioè nella pratica della prova e della ripetizione di qualcosa, per ripetere, the rehearsal process,
Yeah, because only by
diventa un
repeating,
rituale nella
I think we will feel what we select and what we believe. Because in rituals, I think there is always a moment of happening. Some you leave behind, and some you take with you as a safe place, as something you really feel sacred. So basically we are trying to create the sacredness of a new ritual, but we still don't know. But we hope that it will come after we do step by step going into it. And this is like the beginning of a conversation, I think.
Sì, non so se tutti noi abbiamo questa cosa, oppure potrebbe essere d'aiuto, come dire, individuare un qualcosa a cui ispirarsi. No, questa è una domanda che faccio a voi. Perché tutta la faccenda partiva da una considerazione della morte e dei morti, il nostro progetto partiva da questo, no? Però questo comunque ha a che fare con comprendere, con una situazione ben specifica. Il fatto di avvicinarsi a un atto rituale non comporta essenzialmente che sia qualcosa che riguarda la morte o i morti, no? Questo potrebbe essere anche lasciato in un secondo tempo e solamente fare un primo approccio completamente libero, indipendente, no? Da qualsiasi idea, perché ognuno riconosca la sua motivazione di una ritualità, no? Perché penso che anche per cominciare ci deve essere.
I think if we really put a concrete question, I mean, what brought us to this impulse is the concept, the idea of that. We shall not escape from it, and we shall deep look into it. So by drawing my ritual of that will be my first step to create a common ground with you. I think we shall not escape from it. So it's okay to say, let's draw now in this field my personal concept of my personal understanding what is ritual of death for me. Yeah, it's just a starting point. It doesn't.
For the rest of the time, it's interesting to consider the repetition as a practice that help us to be in contact, because the way how we do things and at the same time the way that we know that other people are making different things but at the end the same thing help to have a consciousness of this community, of this ensemble of people who are not physically present, but that have anyway connection. So this is important, purtroppo.
Sì, anche perché il punto di partenza dal quale abbiamo sostituito. Sì, secondo me può essere la buona occasione per metterci qualcosa di proprio.
Okay, let's do it. No?
Yeah, let's do it. But before going to the field, let's create a physical connection with each other and then go. Just anything that can relate from the words of the field. So let's just try to feel each other and get into the silence, then get silence
iniziato.
Together with that kind of common intention, but
10 years ago. But what if you try to leave that idea larger, make it more concrete, a series of questions, what this, that, so then, I don't know. So this is it, it's not gonna produce anything exactly, but it's gonna create a common ground for conversation. Very happy. They will have 5 major comments. So we feel comfortable. The rest, take your ritual, my ritual, so I think your question is
My first intention was more complex, but when I saw the word I decided that the poetic aspect of the word was enough to put me in contact with my object of spirituality. So I wouldn't say anything else.
Then, so that if I understood you clearly, the presence of the word brought you completely into the context. You didn't feel acting or doing anything after it. So it's like the moment, the presence of the world itself.
Yeah, this was a part of something else that is more complex. But as first exercise. I thought it was enough. And I think that if you stay in the meaning of the word and you do not give yourself the possibility to go over that, you stay in the middle of something and in the verge of between the word and the process. And staying between the word and the process means also a dimension that it's no it's no daily dimension. You have to in a way to look for it and to find and consider the poetic meanings of a word means also staying in this dimension. So I think also poetry can be a kind of ritual. It depends how you use it or how you feel. And also a word in itself, it's already really strong, maybe the strongest link that you have with your divinity.
So Emilio, does it mean that you could have some other words also that has a meaning, and let's say changing from a word to another word would also transform or continue your ritual? For example, now it's this word, I'm aware, and then there is another word, and then there is a third word. Or in a moment today is this word, let's say tomorrow not. But what I'm trying to understand, if the words also continue, it's not one word.
It could continue, but this is one expression of the possibility of different expression of rituals. So I think there is no one ritual, but many different rituals. Some of them are you can easily living daily, because eating is a ritual, talking is a ritual too, but some others they have a special consistence, and they bring you outside of the daily life, and they bring you in some other dimension of the reality. So I think this is in between, you know? And poetry also is in between, and it's an exercise in a way for me.
And Emilio, for example, this concrete exercise in this case, where do you see your body in the moment of this?
Well,
is it standing body? Is it silent body? What is?
Is the body itself, because breathing, you know, is in the same
personally,
way.
do you see yourself after you did it? Do you think that it's done, and then you can do whatever your daily life, or you think your body as Emilio? Is there also a relationship between the word and the body in a moment, or the word by itself is enough? That's what I want to understand.
It's mixed. I mean, the two conditions are mixing in the word, I think, but because this word is something completely immaterial, but at the same time we need it to be material. You know? So I am in and out at the same time when I consider the meaning of this word. So I'm here, but in a way I am there.
Okay.
Because also breathing is the sense of life, the flux of life.
What is this one?
simbolo, ecco, preciso. La mia idea era quella di vivere proprio l'aspetto fisico poi di un segno, ecco, e di
You start with an idea precise of a precise idea of a ritual or a symbol, but I started.
L'idea era quella di essere presente a me stesso, presente a questa terra.
But the idea
in
was
questo
to be
momento.
present to myself and to this land in this moment.
Al vento, alla precarietà del tutto.
To the wind, to the precarity, the
All'inizio
precariousness of everything.
il primo gesto è stato quello di ho avuto l'idea del tracciato di un serpente che attraversa la terra, che disegna con il suo corpo, con la sua fisicità, con i suoi movimenti un percorso.
The first image he had was the one of a snake that was going through the land and drawing on the land with the sinuosity and the movement of his body.
Questo mi ha poi ricondotto ad un gioco della mia infanzia, non so come si chiama, la campana. Ecco.
That brought me back to this game of my childhood, which is hopstitch.
L'idea di un percorso fatto a tappe, quindi la fisicità di un avanzamento, anche la complessità, insomma, di un gioco fatto con gli equilibri, e quindi questo
A game where you advance, and it's a game also where you have to find the balance.
E quindi questo si è poi materializzato in un percorso, in una strada che in realtà non ha un inizio, non ha nemmeno una direzione.
And this became this path, this road that really doesn't really have a beginning or a direction.
Quindi sono sostanzialmente questo.
This is it basically.
If he would continue thinking now, and let's say the question would be to perform this, does he see a performative moment in it or not? Like, is it possible to do this ritual, or it's just this way for him right now?
Se è un'esperienza limitata
Se tu è possibile performare questo rituale o lo vedi più come un tracciato?
Io lo
questo
vedo come
gioco?
un incipit, come un'esperienza legata a questo momento, a questa contingenza.
It's a beginning connected to this moment and this contingence.
È un incipit come lo è nel gioco appunto della campana, la prima casella, insomma, e poi ne vengono costruite altre, insomma, nel percorso, quindi
It's like in this game you first start from the first square and then you have to build
in
the
fondo
other
questo
ones.
tracciato è all'interno di una casella, quindi
And this path is contained in another big window.
potenzialmente, insomma, estendibile, ecco. Mi interessava appunto vivere la fisicità della creazione di un simbolo, più che interrogarmi sul significato di quello che stavo facendo, insomma.
He was
Quindi-
mostly interested in living the physicality of a symbol more than thinking about the meaning of it.
L'essere fibra delle cose sostanzialmente, quindi
Become part of the fiber of things.
Stuck on one.
quello di Luigi.
I think Sara Son. Ah
Ah, sì, sì.
sì, perché voleva fare una tomba. Because he was thinking about death.
He made a tomb.
Sarah Stan was here.
Yeah, he's still here.
Francesco.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
And
Next.
this one?
This one, I think Pelin did it, no?
No, Luigi Presiccio. Pelindi, that one.
Let me see.
You went away.
He went away. He accompanied Francesca Marianna.
I see.
Really? Yes. Wait, she must be with Sala.
Step on. And this one.
That's mine. And it was always a little bit like Gianluca would say, I was not thinking so much about the ritual, and I just came here and started to do something. The first things was this spiral, this circle, and I was picking up the stones while I was tracing the circles, and just I start gathering the stone in the middle, and then I was thinking a lot about the materiality and physicality of death, and how there are all these images that we go back, we become earth again when we die, and so I had the need to mix different kind of textures. So I start to pick up the leaves and the flowers and different things that I just found around. And then I saw these tomatoes that are half eaten, and somehow the idea of eating and nourishing us is so much part of life. And I felt this idea of also continuity in between life and death, this impossibility of separation of that. I think that's why this circle comes, this shape must come from that. And but just the tomatoes, I don't know, they became a little more decorative also. So I just put them on the last circle that I made. But it was not too much thought. But of course there is pretty clear immediate reference and image that we all have about tomb, stones, the rituals. In some religion people throw stones, Jewish people throw stones in the tombs, and then food, and then flour like offering. And then I realized there were this wheat, the grano, which is also a symbol of life, and so I want to pick some to put it there. And something that were on the way I didn't want to clean up too much, because I also like a little bit the chaos. I mean, it's something that created, artificial, but also I like the fact that some plants were still living. So it was this kind of gesture. The obvious. The way.
And now when you look at it, Alessandra, at this moment, what do you see? See what you described, but what do you see your relation right now with the center and stones? What is it for you?
I don't really know. I knew I started with one, but then I had the need to put more, and this became a little bit something that, it's like this destiny that we all have. The stones became almost a symbol of of a collectivity, and but also it was something to protect and to keep. Also to keep the function of the other element that I put there, like to sediment, something to contain also maybe.
Sì, something very attracting from the side, centripeto that it's like swirling.
Sì, richiama ancora di più forse la spirale.
Yeah, I didn't think too much, but now that I relook at it, I can see how there are some images that come back and seeing all these circles, right? And it's also, I mean, the stones is also the building, and I mean, it's housing, it's these houses, this life, like to protect life. It's the house. So maybe it's a tomb, actually, a collective tomb.
That I was starting doing, but it led me somewhere else. This was part of the beginning, like kind of struggle with the ground, where I was like trying possibilities, and I started covering some of the elements that were part of the field that I found, and there are some like something that I found and I just covered like with the. But I also was like really struggling with the idea of representing something that I was like living, and it led me to something else that is this like extension of the ground itself. And also here I didn't really think that much, but I was living more this like kind of extension and slight like little change of the ground that was like the common ground of giving a possibility to a ritual, and now that I like after making it, I think it's like this little change that you cannot perceive like till you are not close to it. And it's somehow connected to the like very little change that, or little tiny border that you can perceive between life and death. So it's like this deviation in a way from the ground, from the like path. And yes, I feel like.
Do you think it has a coming back concept, or it is still on the level of
exit?
Exit and finding?
It's more like the two possibilities together. It's like kind of strabic action, like an action that can go on, but having kind of interaction.
But definitely each this needs this, right?
Yeah.
Like it cannot exist without. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like a tree, like the branches. That is the.
Yeah, but tree. I mean, if I'm right, but tree, in this concept she's describing, will be even the branch of the tree still has a complete part of the tree, which here it is a complete another idea which is not described yet, but it is related. But it's not really a branch, right?
No, it's like
really like something else which is not called, but it is there.
Yeah.
It's the idea of otherness, which is there, but at the same time it is not named.
It's like
the other side.
Yeah.
And that?
The feeling is and then the geometric, now I see it is so regular.
Repeated them all.
You see all? Did it all?
Giancarlo did something,
And
but
that
then
was
he
mine.
lost it.
That was mine. But I can tell it. So for me, I was thinking about what would be the ritual if I would do it, and the first question would be to find the safe space for it. like space where I believe that the sacred ritual could take place. It can be any space, but at the same time, visually, even if I would do that ritual, let's say in the airport full of people, visually I shall feel that this is that circle. So it doesn't need to be circle per se, but in my vision, in my body feeling, it should be that the circle is there. And so it's a large space. And then I would need a smaller space, which could be the square. And for this square, it would definitely be something related to my hands. So I would imagine the circle, but then my hands will create that square where my ritual is going to take place. And I would enter it from the corner. And so this triangle helps me to find the center. And my action of ritual is this spiral, which and that is right now it shows a spiral, but that should be a complete act. So I would act spiral, which would be a gesture or a sound. And
How is a spiral sound?
I don't know, but that is something that I would work on to find what would be for me the spiral, if it is not drawn, but if I am performing it. Like if I want to connect with the idea of spiral and see that I am in that process, how does it represent it in my body, and what I shall do in order to feel after I leave the space that I did it. That is
So it would be an individual ritual.
yeah, if I would work on it, it means that I would work on this part, like trying to figure out where is a true moment for me that I really felt that spiral thing takes place. And it could be sound or gesture or silence too, but at the same time that silence will not be act of not talking. It would be complete act of finding another sound inside, which is a spiral for me.
Ma in italiano non si può...
Allora, lui prima ha cercato uno spazio di protezione, che è questo cerchio, perché per effettuare questo rituale ci vuole uno spazio protetto. E poi dal cerchio è passato a cercare una via d'accesso. All'interno di questo spazio protetto c'è un'altra protezione con una via d'accesso, e il triangolo gli è servito per trovare il centro. Il rituale in sé, il momento rituale è rappresentato da questa spirale, e il cercare una rappresentazione della spirale attraverso un suono o attraverso il corpo e non visivamente è il rituale a cui lui penserebbe. E non ha un suono già predefinito, ma ha bisogno di una ricerca di un suono che possa rappresentare la spirale o di un movimento. E anche se fosse il silenzio, sarebbe un silenzio che non è il non parlare, ma un silenzio che viene da un suono interno che rappresenta la spirale. You know, we worked on a field that has been sown. There are seeds in here.
But we
They
asked,
put
and they
seeds.
said no.
This is where they did the collective seeding.
But we asked.
I asked to Gigi, he told
Really?
me, okay.
Maybe it's okay to do it anyhow. But this is where they told us they did the collective seeding. But maybe we didn't disturb too much the seeds, or maybe it's...
No, I mean walking on it. It was told us that walking on it is bad if you put seeds.
Yeah. Maya pointed out that maybe we should haven't done it here.
No, we asked
Because-
it and they,
Okay, so
but I don't know. Maybe Gigi didn't know.
well, I think
He
Gigi was
answered.
part
He
of
answered.
it. Maybe decided it was okay.
So, like for example, for me now there are a lot of interesting things that we could practice, but it definitely should be everyone's willingness to do it, because I think in some ideas shown there is already something that you can try now, which is related to walking, feeling, that this and things like that. If we would like to try, let's say, to try anyone's concept right now, that would bring us the element of feeling of happening or not, and then we could see that okay, this is something we can keep. And also we see what is repeating. The spirale is repeating definitely in a lot of drawings. The circle is repeating.
Even the coordinates.
Exactly.
Coordinate.
The coordinate of like north, west, and and the idea of time space related to walking as going through phases, or walking as act of meditative repetition of a slow something. It was interesting also, like what I see also as possibility of like exercise, the Davide's circles. It was interesting for me to see that the circles that you do now, but at the same time you have the picture of another circle taking place, which you are going to, but you are not there yet. And that is also an interesting exercise when you, let's say, you try to walk somewhere, but already imagining the other walking already for you as a future, and then you go there. And what would be if you do it collectively? And how we will not create conflict, because that's an interesting thing, to go through individual ritualization, but at the same time knowing that there is another one doing the same thing. So you, without talking and agreeing about time space, you kind of feel it. That would be interesting. And these stones, well, it's also repeating, right? The idea of putting stones, also like your thing of working, the necessity to touch earth and land. That is also something we could do. What does it feel like? How can we? Does it give anything? Yeah.
This sort of decorative, like the care where you dispose things is like making an altar or making an offering, where you also, the aesthetic, the flowers, the decorative part of it, I think can be part of a ritual. When you are designing again, let's say, it could be, of course, that you draw the same. Let's imagine if our ritual, basically, we would agree that, okay, great, now we have a common understanding that let's November, 22, we again draw the same thing wherever you are at 9 o'clock. And then we agree, okay, we again draw. So the idea of doing the same things to different design with the materials are next to you could be a ritualistic connection too, of course. Yeah, now that I'm sorry.
No, for me it's strange because what I did is something that I cannot find anymore. Because it's like I did little balls of earth and I put it here and there. And the only one that I see now is there.
Which one?
Yeah.
It's this.
Wow.
And was like I saw Andrea passing and I decided to put it on his
his
face.
footprint. Yeah.
but then there are others that I don't see anymore.
Giancarlo too did something that he doesn't find.
So for me it was kind of
That's an interesting thing too.
was more like to leave something, but at the same time to forget about it in a way, but still have the consciousness about. So it's like, I don't know, refusing a form, but most like more the fact to contribute with something that is already here, near, like with a proximity with something else, and continue. And then after the balls, I went to clean my hands, and while cleaning my hands, I thought of, like, to keep some water, and started to make some lines with the water that was falling down. So even the water, I don't know. And then I took a wash. And I felt a disease to find out like a meaning, like an abstract meaning of some forms that I was drawing. So I wanted to make something like more, I don't know, something without thinking. And also
So
the
maybe
fact
you
to wash the hands and then like realize the water was a kind of, I didn't plan to do it.
So does it mean that, imagine maybe, that it was your ritual, that you did it? You know what I mean?
I think so.
Okay. Because that's what I feel when you describe it. I think that
And also when I was working...
instead of drawing it, you actually did it. You know what I'm trying to say?
Exactly. I mean, like, see, I think so. And also I stopped to look at some flowers there and just contemplating.
I would say maybe if we have some things to say about this, we can do it. But also, if you want, we can make another section tomorrow. And we can also try other different way too, because this way is mostly a kind of representation, graphic representation, or in your case, or in other case, a performance, but still it represents something in through sign. And we didn't use our body, for example, and this is another tool, another way to connect ourselves, and maybe you have something in mind for this. And I will propose for tomorrow two different ways, an outer way and an inner way. So maybe if you take care of the outer way, that means the language of the body, I could propose something inner, in a way to try to make each other of us sort of exercise and connect ourselves, but not through a representation and not through any sign, no? But through an inner image. So, because also the inner image is another way to connect yourself to another dimension or another state, another level of your life, because it's real but not physical. So this could be two things that we can do tomorrow. No?
Yeah, and if you agree, if I use for that some ideas that were already in, you know, because I saw already some exercises which could bring the first gesture.
Be done.
Different, yeah, can be done through walking, feeling, sensing, sounding, and the words also.
Yeah.
That they can appear.
Yeah.
And then let's try if you're okay about it.
I wanted to maybe tomorrow try like as I did in my own circle. As I said, there's something always in the middle. I would like to try to have this inner vision of this thing in the middle without representing it, and maybe having a contact with another hand in the middle and see what kind of drawings come out.
That's a good thing. I mean, we can start from just general acts on feeling each other in a space, and then maybe we really try to do whatever ritual is possible to do even now. Like, for example, yours, we can really practice.
Yeah, like potentially
and see
mine
what,
becomes like an infinite
what we
sign.
feel.
But of course, when you perhaps don't look up where you're walking, it doesn't come out.
But I think it will be also nice to try to have the feeling of an inner connection between us, and we can, if you want, we can make this candle exercise. This is very easy to do it. It's just
meditation exercise.
well, it's part of the first part, and it's simple. It's nothing mystic. It's just build an image in yourself that is the same image for everybody, but it will be different, but referring to the same thing. So,
And where shall we do it?
where? There, maybe. Inside, we need a dark place and a candle.
So tomorrow we come here again, because I thought someone was telling that we are not going to come here anymore, but we are coming.
I'm not sure.
Oh, you're not sure. Okay.
The candle must be lit, accesa.
We can also make in some other place, but we are here. I don't know what we do tomorrow. Tomorrow at 6 there is something, no?
Tomorrow there are a lot of things.
In the morning too.
In the morning it's still working on the site.
So we can.
Afternoon there are 3 meetings from 2:30.
We could meet at before lunch here, no? Around 12, for example, and do it.
Cioè, Sara, domani cosa succede, Federica?
E ci ritroviamo alle 12 a fare questo esercizio di meditazione sulla candela.
Ah,
qui?
Sì,
dentro.
Ok. Alle 12.
No, feeling with the feeling with the feet, not the earth.
Feeling your steps.
Yes, waving one step to another, no?
Yeah.
Not
just yet.
okay. One to one.
You put a sign.
With the stone. With the stone.
Mini sculpture come on the
Documenta big one?
No. In a case. No, a case, because I look for stones only, no?
So, but listen, you walked. Yeah. Okay. But why did you feel? What happened with you that you felt doing this here?
I started to trying to draw something.
Okay.
And the idea was to not draw, but put on the stone, on the earth something. and was the
Okay, that is what.
the wood, the stick to drawing, no? To not draw, but to put
You
on
see?
the stone.
It's
And,
not easy task.
And then the idea of precarious, in general, the idea of precarious, and for that I started to work looking for other woods, sticks, strange, and when I found one, I entered
you put
on
it.
the field at the same with the little stone to elevate the stone from the ground. No, the idea to work to dissolate the land, no, to plant it. First, you have to pick up all the stone, no, and making something symbolic as a plant of stones.
When
no?
was the moment for you to feel that it's the end?
What? Sorry, repeat me, please.
What was the moment that you felt that this is the end?
The end was when all the died trees that I find. I don't find no more died trees. So for me it was the end. I take a walk to look for the died trees, but there aren't. There wasn't. Okay. This was for me. Well,
Allora, stessa cosa. Ripeti.
basta. No, lo devo ripetere.
No.
Il concetto di rituale di morte, di provare a disegnare il concetto rituale di morte.
E poi spiegarlo.
E spiegarlo tra gli altri come primo tentativo di cominciare a pensare sopra queste, a pensare a questo, insomma.